You're watching The Debate Show. I'm Louise Daniel.
I'm Nathan Devonte.
And we've got some special guests today.
I'm Danny. I'm a personal trainer and coach here at CrossFit Evolving.
I'm Louise Golbey. I'm a singer-songwriter.
My name's Declan. I'm a PT for Virgin Active and a classical violinist.
So, the other day I looked at the charts and it was full up of Ed Sheeran's album, basically. I want to know, is diversity in the UK pop charts, is that dead? Is it broken? Is the system broken? Because it feels a little bit like that to me. I love Ed Sheeran, but I don't think his whole album deserved to be taken up the charts. What do you guys think?
You're looking like
I'm gonna
me like I look like him.
So, I just feel like as somebody who writes music and as somebody who still purchases music, physical CDs, how is it that album tracks are in the singles chart? For me, like we used to have like 4 or 5 singles that come out from an album. They would have videos to support it. Unless you're Beyonce and you've done a video for every single one, how are you having your your album track in the top 10? Thoughts?
Well, Ed Sheeran's one of the biggest selling artists of all time. It's quite amazing actually. I used to do gigs with him, so I was like, yeah, he's doing all right at the moment. I'm still on the same gig circuit. But anyway, he's obviously very successful and people are buying his album, and so much so. But then they're also streaming it on Spotify, and because they're streaming the whole album, I guess each song is tracked differently and counts, but it is unfair because it means other artists have no chance of getting their top 10 single, whereas if the streaming thing wasn't counted, we'd have a very varied top 10. I think there's only one, the Coldplay song with Chainsmokers is the only one that's not an Ed Sheeran song in the top 10 right now.
So do we need like a separate chart, like a streaming chart,
and then
a chart for actually people who've made a music video and released it as a single? Especially for you guys,
like downloads, and then it was like just singles bought beforehand, wasn't it? Before the streaming came in, but
downloading is a purchase. With streaming, you can listen to that just while you're in the gym, working out. Would you expect
the chart
that to
very
be
repetitive now? I think it was like Drake #1 for like 12 weeks, but like no one was buying the single. It was just purely on streams and stuff like that. And I think it's like there's a lot of like music, like rock music, doesn't really get into the charts now anymore and stuff like that, like guitar music and things like that. So it's like I don't know.
If people want to listen to it at a party, they might put
There's no diversity anymore, and I think actually if you're alternative, you stand a better chance of standing out these days. Like Stormzy's album got #1.
Well, I mean, as an artist myself, obviously I invest in my music, and it still costs money to make music, and that's the frustrating thing. People don't want to pay for anything anymore, but actually you have to have your songs mastered and the artwork done and PR, and everything costs money. And for me, obviously I've just released a new EP, and I hope people are buying it, but I know a lot of my friends have Spotify and they're like, oh, we were listening to a EP. I'm like, oh great, because I only get like 0.001p. And streaming, you can make money if you're Taylor Swift, but if you're an independent artist, there's no money in streaming.
Even she doesn't make that much money from the streaming aspect of it.
Because it's divided between the writers and the labels. And
I was going to ask, like, is it worth having, if you make an album, is it worth having it on Spotify, or is it better to keep it away and actually make people buy your album?
Well, I think for the exposure point of view, you have to have it on Spotify because that's where everybody is at. Unfortunately,
I'm always wondering with that, but then if I don't have it on there, people are like, you've got to have it on there. So
it's a difficult one. I personally hate streaming, and anyone who knows me, I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. I'm old-fashioned. I came from the 90s when we used to buy CDs. Streaming's good for finding new music and stuff, but no, like if you support your artists, support them.
I guess people, because if they pay for Spotify, they think they are paying for music because they pay £10 a month. So for them, they are paying for their use of Spotify, but they don't realise what it means to the artists.
I don't even have a problem with Spotify and people getting paid for it. It's more about the charts. Like the charts used to be something that I used to tune into on a Sunday, maybe Capital One, and I listen to the rundown of the charts, and all of that culture's gone. And I know we have multiple charts now. We have like an R&B chart, a hip hop chart, the iTunes charts, all of these different, and the Billboard charts, and it's great. but how can somebody's album and like non-singles fill up the whole of the top 20?
Yeah, and this is 2 weeks in a row that it's not changed.
I feel like why people like buying individual songs.
They're just listening to the songs. Listening to the songs.
Yeah.
They probably just have it, playing in the background. They don't even listen to it properly.
And yes,
I think if the songs are worthy, if they're like an album track that's really worthy, that's quite cool that can chart. But if it's just because you streamed the album 10 times and multiple people have done that.
Are the songs in order? That would explain a lot.
What do you guys think about it? Has streaming destroyed the music industry, destroyed the charts? Do you think Ed Sheeran's right for having his whole album in the charts? Is it that good that it deserves to be there? Let us know your thoughts. Comment, share, subscribe, like, and all that great stuff.